Hi everyone, welcome to another video, and today we'll be reviewing Pokemon Sun and Moon for 3DS. This game was recently released a couple weeks ago, really, and I picked it up about a couple days after launch, so I'm just going to say now, it's definitely a good game. It's definitely one of the best in the series in a while. The last few Pokemon games have kind of been going downhill, X and Y were mediocre at best. Like Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they were good remakes, but they just didn't really do much. Now, that doesn't say Pokemon Sun is perfect, because it is not. There are definitely things that are missing in it that were present in past games that I'd like to see, but I'll go more into those later on in the actual review portion, and I will mention other things there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to start off with the cons of Pokemon Sun, so we can give you guys kind of a look and save the best for last. Alright, so the first thing to talk about is the horrid loading times for this game. This game on the original 3DS, which is what I'm running a 2011 3DS XL, which has a shot battery. It took me nearly 30 seconds for the screen to load completely from my home screen to where Pokemon Sun appears on the top screen. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. Of course, the game was more optimized for the new 3DS systems, because they're probably like, oh, more people have that, it's no big deal. But I'm broke. That's just why I don't have a capture card for this thing. But yeah. The next thing I want to talk about really is the horrid gameplay on an original 3DS, more in depth. Most notably, it doesn't run well, especially in terms of where you have double battles, stuff like that. For example, I'm going to call an SOS battle here in a moment. Here with my Tapu Koko against this Young Goose here. And yes, I know the hat is pink. Don't even. I know. Don't call me out. I already know. I know what you're thinking. But anyway, I'm gonna show you guys basically what happens here. So I'm gonna hit him with false swipe. I use an adrenaline orb, which is gonna provoke him to call in an SOS battle, which for sure is going to cause a bit of a problem for my 3DS. Now, you probably won't be able to notice it too well because my camera is pretty well. But if you notice right there, it started to shut down and go slow a little bit. And you won't really notice it when this game's like kind of just sitting here. The animations are still sort of smooth. You can kind of see a bit of a jolt. But especially right here where he goes to drop back to, like, he cocks back to hit the false swipe, he kind of lags just a tad. Now, in double battles, it's exceedingly horrible. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is the absence of the PSS. This was probably by far one of the biggest complaints that I've seen in other review videos for this game. And really, it's difficult because with trading now, you have to go through all the convoluted process and go through the Festival Plaza, change your settings over the internet. It's link battle, same story. The battle spot they're all moved, and it's really difficult. And I thought for sure that was like a friends list or something. It brings up your profile. But why? Alright. But yeah, then you have, say, your bag and your Pokemon screen, but you don't seem to have a friends list anywhere, unless it's what the yellow one with the 3 lines is for. It's probably what it is. Alright. But yeah, that's really my big thing, is the absence of the PSS. So now we're going to move to some pros of the game. I wasn't going to put too many cons in the game because I didn't want to make it sound like it was as bad as some people were saying. First thing up is the music. Now listen to this stuff. It's absolutely great. Another pro of this game is the Pokédex is so balanced. Now you've got like Pikachu, and then you've got some of the good designs like Vikavolt, and you got Hoenn Pokemon and Sinnoh Pokemon and Kanto, and your new Alola Pokemon. Which one of my big complaints is that there isn't a lot of new Alolan stuff. It's got a really nice balance of Pokemon that are from other regions. Like I said, Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh, and Unova are all represented very well here. And of course, you've got all the evolutions. Which I'm not going to go too in-depth on. By far, my favorite design, though, is towards the end of this little clip. Of course, Araquanid is one of my other favorites. Very aggressive-looking Pokemon designs. In this one, some of them are relatively strange, but that's kind of the theme with this game. It's not really your typical Pokemon game. Alolan forms are cool. Salazzle, one of my favorites. Beatware, another one that I have yet to try, but he looks really cool. And by far, one of my favorites. Alright, so now it's time to give you guys my overall final thoughts of this game. This game is by far one of the best in the series in a while. Pokemon has been slowly going downhill with games such as X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Black 2 and White 2 were kind of where the beginning of that was. If it wasn't for Black 2 and White 2, X and Y probably would not have been so bad. Of course, that's kind of a bit of a stretch, but in my opinion. But the big slide down for Pokemon began around Black 2 and White 2, and it kind of continued with games such as Sun and Moon, being the return of that. I know that probably doesn't make any sense because I'm not scripting my videos. So, but yeah, they went through a bad period with X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but Sun and Moon have definitely redeemed the franchise very well. It's pretty great that they've managed to finally really make this game great again. No political pun intended. The game is by far, like I said, very great. Some more cons to talk. Not cons, pros to talk about real quick. So I don't have gameplay. This is gameplay. This is from the Long Play episode 9. And the game by far has such an amazing story. It's definitely much better than Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire story, which I know I've played Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald back in the day, so I kind of already know what's going on. But for sure, this game has such a great story in comparison to its predecessors. X and Y story was kind of what brought the game down. Besides the glitches that were found very early in the game and which were fixed, the way in a Pokemon Bank was horrible. But yeah, it was pretty insane how X and Y kind of broke the reputation of the game. Pokemon Go kind of did the same, which is probably why I never did videos on it really. But this game definitely redeemed the franchise very well. Pokemon is officially starting to grow back again to where they were back when Pokemon Go first came out, and it was all the craze. But this is probably by far one of the fastest selling games on 3DS right now. I believe it is the fastest. So it did quite well. But yeah, some more cons to talk about real quick. Besides the absence of features, the game kind of ends abruptly and kind of shows you one of the biggest plot twists ever. Spoiler alerts in this one, guys. Lily does leave you at the end of the game. So, it's kind of like a big plot twist, and we don't know if we're ever going to see her again. So, that's going to be quite interesting. Hey, Pikachu. I don't know exactly what that really is, but but yeah, it's kind of a bit of a shock to you at the end of the game. You're like, what? But that's another con. The story kind of just ends abrupt. You don't really know what happens to anybody. You don't know what happens to the Aether Foundation afterward. It just kind of vanishes. There's a little bit of poke to it in the Ultra Beast quest after the game and the post game. For those of you who haven't been watching those stuff, I'm not uploading the Ultra Beast videos. I never actually did film Ultra Beast videos, but that's because everyone else has done it, and I don't want to be kind of in that crowd. But yeah, you can go watch those on other channels and stuff. A lot of other channels have done it. I know Verlosfly's done some stuff on it. Another YouTuber called Max has done some videos on it. That's where I've watched the majority of my stuff from on that. But yeah. So do I recommend Pokemon Sun to a new Pokemon player or just anyone who has a 3DS? Yes, I do. It's a great game to play. Very awesome storyline, like I said. Great battles. Very difficult. It's another big pro for me. It's incredibly more difficult than X and Y and Alpha Sapphire, where when I played X, I beat it within a few hours. Same story with Alpha Sapphire. I could beat that game with my eyes closed if I wanted to. It actually took a bit of grinding. As you can see with episodes 9 and 10, the long play, I had to do some grinding in between those episodes. It was pretty bad. But that's basically it with the game. It's just, I love it now. The game is much more difficult, has a much more dark storyline in this one for sure. And they talk about death and stuff in the game, which they kind of touched upon in X and Y, but they didn't really make the biggest deal about it. But yeah. So, if I were to give it out of 10 star rating, what would I give it? A scale of 1 to 10. I'd probably give it about a 9 because there are little errors and stuff that they need to fix. They need to bring back the PSS for sure, as that was probably big help when we played X, Y, and Alpha Sapphire. But yeah, that'll do it for this Pokemon Sun review video. I know it was kind of long-winded. I talked a lot, but thank you guys so much for watching and staying through this if you have already. And I will see you guys later. Take care, everyone.